file this one under I genuinely didn't think this was ever going to happen just because we've been moving at a snail's pace on this project. And we're talking, of course, about Indiana Jones 5, which is more or less in pre-production now as they've gotten both some actors attached to it as well as the man, the myth, the legend, John Williams. Now, I'll be the first to admit I'm a little worried. Like, I'm excited that John Williams is coming back. But I'm a little nervous because he is over 90 as I'm fading to Josh's reaction now.
You don't tell me when you do these things. Like, you just put stupid hats on. And I'm like, well, I can't be mad because it fits the conversation.
So I had an Indiana Jones hat, like a proper one from Disney World, but it doesn't fit my big old dome anymore. So this is my grandpa's hat because he was just a styling guy. I'm a little worried that we're getting John Williams back, like not in the sense of quality. John Williams is synonymous with Indiana Jones. We've had Star Wars movies without John Williams. We've never had a Indiana Jones movie without him. That being said, he is 90. He's over 90. Like, are we really going to work this poor man to death with Indiana Jones movies? So he's coming back to score the music. Harrison Ford, we already knew was coming back. And Phoebe Waller Bridge, which unfortunately the only thing I've actually seen her in or heard her in is Solo. Like, I know she's really well known for Fleabag, but I haven't seen that. Just add it to the ever-growing list of things that I haven't seen yet. But she's a really big name, both from a acting standpoint, but also from a behind-the-scenes standpoint. Like, I think she was one of the creative people on Fleabag. I think like a writer or producer or something. So she's a big up-and-coming name. I'm indifferent to it, just because I don't know her that well. The key for me is what Harrison Ford shows up for this movie. Are we going to have, admittedly, one of the better ones in recent memory with him in Force Awakens, when he actually was clearly trying because he thought it would be his last turn as Han? Or are we going to have Bruce Willis Han Solo, Harrison Ford, of just, I don't care, I just want to get paid? Which, admittedly, he's never phoned it in for Indiana Jones. Even as bad as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was, he's still giving everything he had to that. And unpopular opinion, I don't think Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is all that bad until about the halfway point once they start going all in with the alien stuff. Like, the whole, I'm old now, and like, oh, I thought that jump was closer. Like, that's funny. That worked. It's the whole, these are alien skulls are kind of where you lost me. However, I'm still cautiously optimistic about this movie because it's James Mangold directing this. For those that don't know, James Mangold did Walk the Line, Logan. He most recently did Ford v Ferrari. This guy is a talented director. So if anybody can make this work, it's probably going to be him. And here's where I really lose some people. At the current stage of their careers, I think Indiana Jones is in better hands with James Mangold than it would be with Steven Spielberg. I like Spielberg, but he's not the name that he used to be. Like, I think Ready Player One is fine, but could it have been better with a different director? Absolutely. That's kind of why I have more faith with Mangold in this situation. But Josh, do you see supposedly that Indiana Jones 5 is going into production sometime soon? Do you actually believe that it's coming out next year with its scheduled July release date? Do you like the casting? We haven't talked about Indy 5 in a while.
Yeah, we don't talk. Well, maybe because there wasn't really a lot of news to talk about.
Other than the game.
Yeah, I share your concern with Williams coming back. I don't think Harris, like you said, I don't think Harris is gonna phone it in. It's Indy. I mean, he might have went hard on Crystal Skull because he might have thought it would be the last time to pass off the torch, but who knows? Maybe they'll successfully do that this time. So, but geez, I forgot her name, but the lady from Fleabag.
Yeah, Phoebe Waller Bridge.
Bro, she is great.
Have you seen Fleabag?
I've watched the entire.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, cool. So you have more of a reference than I do.
Yeah, she's great. Also, shout out to Fleabag. It's a fantastic show. I think when I finished it, I told you needed to watch it.
Is Andrew Scott on that one? Moriarty?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes. Oh my goodness, and he's great on it too. He's like,
It's Andrew Scott, of course he's great.
but it's like it's such a different character from Moriarty.
Words.
Moriarty.
And an anemone.
That guy from Sherlock Holmes. But it's such a different character that it almost like throws you off at first. Regardless, all right, confession time.
Uh-oh.
Crystal Skull was my first Indiana Jones movie.
It was mine in theaters.
It was mine, period.
Really?
I had never seen an Indiana Jones movie before that. So, for me, I was like, oh yeah, okay. Like I understood the general idea because of Indiana Jones just from pop culture, but like, so when they were like aliens, I was like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? Whatever. I mean, whatever.
That's
it could
not
be
bad.
worse.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, even like stuff like the giant ants was like genuinely terrifying because like I didn't know stuff like that could exist in this series and stuff like that. So it was. I guess I've never understood the hate of Crystal Skull.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm excited. Sure, why not? We needed it. What you and I have been saying, we need a new like treasure hunting adventure movie for a while. So
yes. Now, do you actually think it'll come out next year?
yeah, I think I'm so used to giving like question marks on the ends of statements now that like I was like, hey, yeah, this will come out in 2 months, and then it gets moved back a year.
Well, I think things are slowly kind of like getting back to things are getting into production now. I had to do a little research on this one because I made this a while ago. That's how long this has been in production for. But I did a video way back. I'll put the little card here to link you guys to it. But there's 5 things in particular. Any one of these I'd be fine with for the next Indiana Jones. But these are the 5 things, narratively or treasure hunt-wise, that I would like Indy to try and find. I want him to find King Solomon's Mines. 1, because the librarian already basically stole a lot of its inspiration from Indiana Jones, so you should steal it back. King Solomon's Mines is a pretty well-known treasure hunt story. Or Pandora's Box. I'm actually amazed that they have not tried this sooner, because that sounds like an Indiana Jones thing right off the bat of just this mythical object that unleashes everything. Plus, I like it better when Indy has to find something that could be used as a weapon, and it's a race against time to try and stop whatever enemy it is. Usually the Nazis, the best stories are the Nazis at least, and Pandora's Box obviously can be used as a weapon. Next, Atlantis. Come on now. Indiana Jones trying to find Atlantis. That just writes itself, although it might skew a little too close to National Treasure 2 Book of Secrets territory, in which case finding lost civilizations, etc., etc. Then my last 2, Indiana Jones to me works best when he's trying to find biblical objects. So, again, bring it back to the weapon. What happens if Indiana Jones is tasked with trying to find the horn of Joshua, the horn that brought down the walls of Jericho? Of blow this and your enemy's fortresses come right down or something like that. So obviously he's looking for it and the Nazis will be looking for it. However, the number one thing that I want more than any other thing for Indiana Jones to try and track down is Excalibur.
Yeah.
Come on. And maybe the reason he's looking for it is whosoever finds this sword shall rule over all of Europe. And why would the Nazis be interested in that at all?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I need Indy to fight with Excalibur. That's a little too fan fiction here. But looking for some mythological weapon, that is right up Indy Avenue. And come on, man, just say it. Indiana Jones and Excalibur, that sounds too good to be true to me. Josh, if you're making Indy 5, what's he on the hunt for?
I mean, any of those sound about right. Question for you.
Answer, maybe.
I'm trying to remember, but there was a treasure hunt movie about Pandora's Box, wasn't there?
It's
Like
probably one of
within,
the librarian movies.
I almost want to say it was one of the mummies, but that
No,
doesn't
the
sound
first one
right.
he's looking for the Book of the Dead. The second one
Yeah,
they're trying to stop it's the Book of Life or something. And then
yeah.
the third one's Dragon Emperor. But yeah, I feel
Hmm.
like Pandora's Box is probably
I
from
feel like
something.
it's it's been done in the past 15 years, and I don't remember. I have a whole scene in my head, like about Pandora's box and like a girl reaching into a pool where it's been hidden or something. I can't remember what movie it's from. I don't think it's a librarian movie, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Um, but yeah, any of those sounds great. I mean, it'd be cool to. I feel like El Dorado is
Oh, that's a
that's
good one.
but like see I feel like that's like
That's two National Treasure 2. That one's like, that's exactly what they were
yeah
looking for.
that's too like that's the go-to for treasure movies. Like,
Hmm.
let's go. We're gonna go find El Dorado. I
But
mean,
spoiler alert, people, El Dorado is not a city. It's a golden
it's
idol that's cursed. Please, please do
okay,
that.
okay, Uncharted one. Anyway, which okay, but I was gonna say that like El Dorado, but like Uncharted at least did something different with it. It wasn't like
Yeah.
we found the city. It was, but like we found El Dorado, but we also found out it's a cursed idol and it turns people into vampires. Like that's cool. That's really cool. Maybe, and I wouldn't mind seeing Indy do something like that. Maybe with, hmm,
So what we need is sticking with the Uncharted thing. We need Indy basically to be the new Sully.
yeah, why not? And so the big question here is, do you think we're going to actually introduce a character in the fifth one to kind of take over from Indy, or are we just going to like let Indy do his thing and then try to wave him off into the sunset?
I don't know because they tried to do the passing of the torch thing in the last one with Shia LaBeouf, so I don't see them trying to do it again. Just I trust them to do it more with the directors this time around. That being said, I feel like they got burned. We still don't think Shia LaBeouf was miscast. It was the
No,
story involved with it, and the character of Mutt was not that great. But I think Shia could have carried the franchise. I really do, had he, not gotten that car accident. But
yeah,
it, I don't know if they'll go full on pass the torch. I just want them to end this properly. However, since it's James Mangold, I can't shake the thinking that this will be basically Logan, except with Indiana Jones, which
yeah,
I'm also fine with that too.
yeah, no, yeah. Like any chance to finally get like say goodbye to these characters is I think a good opportunity. Like especially like when it's people that are as iconic as like Logan or Indiana Jones. I think yeah, you got to give people an actual opportunity to say goodbye.